the most exciting part about swimming for me was like when Leon would come out or something like that, the crowd would go crazy. And I think when the crowd goes crazy, it really gets you into it. Like that's what makes other sports so exciting, I think, is when like the whole crowd is into it. Everyone's like screaming and chanting, like even Americans and like every country was chanting Leon, which was kind of crazy. Just they all joined in with it.
Welcome to Social Kick. I'm Brian Lundquist. We got a partial crew. John's on a plane, but we got Luke Paddington and joining us fresh off the Paris Olympic Games, Alex Shackell. What's up, buddy?
Nothing much. Just been chilling recently, doing maybe some singles. I took 2 weeks off, but we're getting back into it.
Man, it's so crazy to think that you've already been 2 weeks off. I spent some time in Paris. I only caught the last 3 days of the Olympics swimming, and then I was there for like the duration of the rest of the games. And so like time moves so quickly that it's so crazy to think you've already had your off season and are back at it. But man, I don't know. You're so young that it's like that time of year where you just, can't take that much time off. You're headed into a new college environment here soon. So, but yeah, man, what's dude, let's we got a lot to recap. Maybe the best place to start is just, dude, you just went to your first Olympics.
Yeah.
Dude, just I'll give you the floor. What was it like?
Well, like I think when I went back to Carmel in like what was it, December, I kind of just really didn't have any expectations for myself. Like me and Chris just wanted to get back to feeling good in the water, and I guess getting my confidence back. Like I'm not throwing any shade, but I didn't feel really good at Cal. I didn't feel like myself, and I think Dave and Chris we both knew I just wanted to feel like myself and get back to swimming well. And over the course of the 5 or 6 months I was with Chris, I just slowly started gaining confidence. Like we swam a meet like a month after I got back in January, and I went like almost my best time. I was really close to it when I was really far off in November. So then I think from there, like it just kind of got better. Chris could tell you my training was horrible when I got back. I mean, I was losing to one of my friends who's going to swim at Louisville this year by like 20 seconds on 250s. And then we did speedo sectionals, and I went like 146 low. And then I think when I did that, I knew I had a chance at the 200. I did not think I was going to make the 400, but we surprised ourselves there. I got in the final and I just gave myself a shot. And that's really all you need to do sometimes is just go out there and race. So and then that kind of killed me for the 200, but I think I got myself on the team, and I'm really glad that Chris was able to help me do that. So.
Yeah, well, Luke and I were saying before that you had to swim those 3 200s, like just to get through with the swim off with Daniel Deal, like to get in the finals. Like what a brutal couple days, and then to follow that epic 400 moment up with the 200 is, I'm sure, a bit of an emotional come down. But man, like it had to have been so cool actually to be at the front end of trials with a giant victory like that in the 400. I mean, no offense, dude, but like I don't know how many people were saying like betting on you to win that 400, and you just called that out, or like I didn't even know if I was going to. And I mean, I knew you were good, and obviously we've seen your progress coming through, but like to have started trials that way, I can't imagine what it's like to be your age and then to have like just skyrocketed with superstardom. Like your phone must have blown up like crazy. Yeah. People are like, holy shit, Alex Shackell.
Yeah, it was nuts. Like, I mean, I don't think a lot of my teammates really, and I don't want to say they were doubting me, but a lot of people didn't think I could actually win the 400 or like get on the team in general. And like I had great swims in the past, but always at like meets that really didn't matter. Like it was like last year I had a decent nationals, but like I didn't swim my best there. My best times came from like junior nationals where I went 347, and then I went 147 at the Ireland Len meet, but like I didn't perform my best at nationals or trials. And for me, like I was really pissed off at like performing when I wasn't supposed to and not performing under the big stage. So really the whole like past 4 months, I was just preparing myself to not put too much pressure on myself, and whatever happens. Like I'm going to go out there and do my best and just enjoy the moment. Like it's a football stadium. Like, this is a really cool experience. There's no reason to make it a stressful experience. Like, if I go out there and like go into my shell or whatever, I'm going to be really pissed off at myself after for ruining that moment and wasting that opportunity. So,
well, I think people gravitated a lot to you because of your celebration. That's the way you freaking celebrate, man. Your goggles are okay. You smashed your goggles.
Yeah, well, I think like a lot of like other sports, people always show their emotion, and then I think swimming's kind of get in there, but a lot of people like, I mean, there are people like in comment sections like complaining about my celebrations, like, be humble. It's like, come on, like, dude, shut up. It's like, you gotta show the emotion and like enjoy it. Like, I think that's, you trained for like, I don't know, 14 years just to get to this moment. Like, there's a lot of emotion built up in that, and you gotta let it out and let everyone see like how you're feeling.
I think it's both ways. I think if you have a really disappointing swim as well, I mean, kudos to people like Dressel being so vulnerable in Paris. It's really important you just be human and show people humanity in our sport. Our sport needs it to know who it is.
Right. I've always said on the show, I hate a quiet champion. Like, I was never a big Federer fan because I always felt like he was the, Right. And then there was a lot of attention on Milak at this Olympic Games on how he just wins the 200 fly, and he's like, 100 fly, and he's like, not much. And on deck, he did give like, he put his arms up and waved to the crowd later. So after he got out of the pool, it did change. It wasn't all just like the sullen victory, but I mean, there's maybe some more emotion behind that too. But I love it, man. I love the get on the block. We call it the Kasper Stikowski. He was the one that like gets on the block at NCAA's, and it's like flexing standing on the block. But I'm in full support of it. I think that's more to come on that. But yeah, Luke, go ahead. You want to talk about some of the training things that you mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, Brian alluded it to you. So just so the audience knows, you swam 2 400s on the first day. You make your Olympic team, all that emotion. The next day you get up and you end up swimming 3 200 freestyles all around near your best time. All around near your best time. In fact, that last 200, that last 50, you must have just, all the gas came out your tank, I'm sure, in that last 50 to come back on Daniel. And then talk to me about the kind of training that you've done to give you to be able to do that. So you swam, how much is that? 1,400 meters in 2 days, all out. And you have that confidence.
Yeah, I think the confidence comes from like, I mean, with Chris, we have 10 workouts a week. And when we're training hard, like all of them are going to be hard. Like, it's not like just always, it'll be a good mix of stuff too. Like, we'll do some long threshold stuff on Monday or something like that. And then Tuesday we'll do fly. Like, I'll do like, I think, well, in between the Olympics and trials in the Olympics, I did like 5 2 flies long course, which, I mean, you can tell Chris I don't like doing that, but and then like we'll do some speed stuff on Wednesdays, like some 50s all out. Like, we'll do a good mix of stuff. So I have speed and I also have endurance. Like, you can't do a 400 and a 200 if you just train like mile pace all the time. You got to be able to do a lot of stuff. But basically, it's just from doing a ton of hard work all the time. And even like, I mean, it's literally just all the time, and training, like maybe tapering a little bit less. I mean, I still need rest, but not losing all of your endurance, like getting into good race shape and be able to go a long distance at the same time while also having a lot of speed. So
give me an example of, I remember I once said, coach in training camp, I don't know, it was like 15 200s on 230, nailing it. We were so happy. Like, that's the main set. No, the main set came after that. And it was like, after that was like then 5 300s after that. When you have like the big set comes after what you thought was a big set and you still crush it. Do you have an example of like a hell set and then he gives you another one and you crush it again? Give us an example of your work ethic and the kind of performances you did in practice.
I think there was just one time we did like, it was an active rest set on a Friday, and like we were all like, everyone who was doing the set, it was only like 3 of us. It was like my brother and me and a kid named Greg who I swam with this year. But it was like, I forgot the exact thing, but the main part, like in the middle, was 5 300s long course, like, and we were going like 305 or 306 or something like that, just holding that. And then we were done. And then Chris was like, all right, we're going to do like 16 100s, 1 fast, 1 easy or something like that. And like, we were completely dead at that point. Like, it was like, we were barely going under a minute long course and we had like 2 minutes rest. Like, our bodies were just dead. But on the last one, I think I went like 55 or something.
Do you prefer? We talk about this before, Brian. Do you prefer to know what is coming, or you okay with rolling those punches?
For the most part, like it depends on like where I am mentally. Like if I'm like super tired, I just don't want to ask. Like I'll just show up and then Chris will tell me. I'm like, all right, well, I'm here already. Like I'm gonna do it. But if he tells me before, like I'll just be thinking about it all the time. So I'd rather just show up and just look at the practice and know what I'm doing. So
So we were looking for you in the 200 flyer trials. You're a 155 guy from a couple of years ago. Did you decide not to do flyer trials on purpose? What was the reasoning there?
I mean, no, I did it. I just went 2 minutes. Yeah, I did. I swam. I was completely dead. Like that's why you didn't see me. I was next to Thomas in prelims, and he beat me by like 5 seconds. It was I could not swim at that point. Like it was after going like my 4th 2 free the night before. Like especially like at trials, like the schedule's so weird. Like you end up going to bed at like 1 a.m. every time, which is kind of annoying. But it was a lot of emotion and a lot of swimming. I think the 2 fly was like 1,800 meters in like 2.5 days, all out. So yeah, that was a lot.
Fucking wild. Well, you touched on this a bit. We were saying like, I don't want to throw shade. It's just about like a training environment where you changed training environments at like a pretty important time. You go somewhere else, try to check out a new coach in a new place in the year leading up to the Olympics. Things aren't going great, and so you're like, okay, well, hey, like I have a lot of respect for having made a really difficult decision at a really important time to like make sure that you took care of you. And I don't know if there's more behind that, if it's just like physical, if there's some like emotional to it as well, but and maybe it's a little bit of both when like swimming is like a big part of your identity and it's like a really important thing to you. And if it's not going well, then that can like bleed into other things. And I'm speculating here a bit, but I think that what I'm really curious about from just like a technical standpoint is like, what are some of the things that you, as an elite athlete who has just gone to the Olympic Games, won trials, that you kind of know about what you need in training, what you were looking for and those signs weren't there, that like you go to a new environment and those like weren't happening? Was it like a mix of bulking up in the weight room and quality that, you really need a little bit more volume type of training? And what are those kinds of things that you were identifying that like, hey, this might not be the right fit, but I think that we can go back to what was tried and true and working for me. These are the things that I know that I need that build and give me confidence. And then also like, I guess I'm also wondering like, those must be some things that you think you have alignment with Bob at Texas, and that makes a good environment for you to just it's all about fit, right? At this point, it's not like who's better or worse. It's just like, what's the right training program and fit and environment to make Aaron the best Aaron he can be. So I'm just curious, like, what have you identified throughout that process in the last like year and a half? That's like, you know that this is what you need, and you know that you're headed in a direction where you're going to get more of that.
Yeah, I think for me, I just got to be in like really good shape. I'm a big guy and I swim a longer distance. So if I'm not in good shape, it's like I just can't swim at all. And like my stroke gets messed up. Like in order for me to maintain myself, I got to work really hard every day. And then comparing that to like, I think when I was talking to Chris, when I was in the transfer portal, we were talking about a few different programs. And I think when I was talking to Bob and Chris was talking to Bob, we pretty much decided that was the most similar to what I'm doing with Chris. And so we didn't want to make a big change training wise. And I talked to Drew Kibler as well, who swam with Bob this past year, and his 400 dropped like 2.5 seconds this past year. And I was like, well, I mean, that's looking perfect right now. Like if I can do that too, we'll be in a good spot. And obviously Bob sent me some sets and stuff and it looked really similar. So it was just a great fit, but.
Yeah, give me some examples of what that looks like tactically. Like what does like weekly training volume look like? What what are some of the like the key sets that you do that really give you confidence You know, how long's taper, stuff like that. I'm just curious some of the details.
I think, well, it'll be 10 practices. I already said that, but I think, I don't know the exact amount of yardage. I think it'd be like 60,000, maybe 60, I don't know, around there, like 70 to 50,000. But Monday will usually be like in the morning, just like aerobic, like 6,000, 7,000, I'm assuming. And then like, just like loosen it up. And then Monday afternoon, we do like a pretty hard threshold set. Like, I think one of them we did was like 15 150s, like, or I mean, there's 12 200 short course or something like that, just on a short interval, like just trying to hold red pace. So like short course, that would be like 148 for me on like 210 or something like that. And then Tuesday would be in the morning, it would be a fly set, like some 200 fly pace, 200 flies, like 100 flies, active rest style. And then an afternoon on Tuesday, we do towers and then some kick as well. And then there's no Wednesday morning. And then Wednesday afternoon, we do like 50s, 25s, 75s on longer rest, just going all out. Sometimes we'll suit up for that. And we usually suit up, like Chris will have us suit up closer to the meet. So like when we were in Colorado right before trials, suited up like 4 times. And then Thursday will be kind of threshold again, but more IM. Like when I do IM, I don't do breaststroke. I'll do.
Hell yeah. Breaststroke sucks. I hate it. I always do dolphin kick on breaststroke.
Well, I used to do dolphin breast. And then at one point, Chris was like, you just do fly on breaststroke. Like there's no point.
Wait, do you actually do butterfly, like butterfly arms too? Or
Oh, yeah, a full butterfly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Which is hard to do. Yeah.
Sometimes I'll throw in backstroke. Like if it's not like a actual hard part of the set, like I'll just do fly back free because I don't want to do 100 fly or something like that. But if it's a hard part, like I'll do fly. And then Friday morning is also like, that's when probably like the hardest practice of the week, when we do like some really fast stuff. Like it'll be like total of 3 200s, active, like fast, long course, and then it'll kind of decrease, like maybe 4 150s fast, and then 2 100s, and then like 5 50s. And that'll be like, I don't know, if we did the 200 fast, and it'd be like 100 easy on 2 minutes, and then you'll go again, and then it'll just be like, there'll be rest in between, a good amount of rest. And then Friday afternoon is usually pretty chill. It'll be like kick or something. And then Saturday we'll usually go pretty fast. Like there was one set we did a lot before trials. I think it was 100 fast or 100 descend, but it was like the tight descend. So like 100 fast freestyle, and then you descend from like 57 to like as fast as you can go in the last round. And then after the 100, it'd be 450s. Just as fast, or 200 pace, like flip to your feet. So try to go like 26 to your feet. Maybe 4 rounds of just 100 and 450s. So
yeah. And what about the lifting? Like how big is that? I heard once that your dad was one of those guys who, when he walks into the weight room, he just like gets swole by looking at the weights.
Yeah.
Are you that kind of guy?
I mean, when I got to Carmel, like 4, I guess it's almost 4 years ago, but I was like a twig. Like I think I weighed 140 pounds or something, and I was like 6'3". And then within like a year, I think I weighed 200 or something. So I think that would just
bones.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I improved so fast. But I think like for me and Chris, like we definitely do a lot of like leg circuit, and like it's 3 times a week, just 3 hours total throughout the week. But it's not like, I don't think we do any cleans or nothing like that. I mean, not saying it's bad, but it's a lot of just motion based, like connecting your body and getting yourself set up to swim good in the water. Like nothing where it's just like building pure muscle. I mean, muscle's good, but like not making myself too heavy. Just really setting yourself up for the water is the biggest thing.
Yeah, for sure. It's a delicate balance, and it's so individualized too, because I feel like somebody like Dressel can lift super heavy and somehow still be able to handle some training volume. And I feel like, I can sense that a lot of times it's easy for guys to get like too big, and then you can't actually adapt and realize the gains that need to come from the work that's happening in the water.
Yep.
And like then you're totally shooting yourself in the foot if you can't, which I think nowadays we're like really getting into that space of optimizing those. But well, cool, man. That's awesome. Let's talk about Paris. First of all, did you the 400 so early in the meet that you know, a lot of times swimmers who are racing early in the meet don't get a chance to do the opening ceremonies, which was like in the rain. But did you go? Were you able to be on the boats or no?
No, I mean, it would have been really cool to be with like LeBron and stuff. But there was just no, like I had to wake up at like 8 the next day. And I think the earliest you could get back was like the early option was like 11 p.m.
Jeez.
And then the actual, like you got back at like 2:30 or something in the morning. So definitely could not have gone, even though I wanted to, but I mean, it was super cool. So,
But
then go ahead, Luke.
Go ahead, Brian. I was going to say, and then you woke up in the morning and you do a best time and you swim your 400 free just about how you swam at the trials. I mean, down to the splits were almost like a carbon copy. It was amazing. Talk to me about your heat swim.
I mean, I was so nervous for that heat swim. Like, I mean, the days before, like 2 days before, we were doing like some suited stuff off the block. I did like a 150 like takeout, and I was like 4 seconds slower than I was before trials. And I was like, Chris and I were like, Bob was watching, I think, and then we were like, oh my God, like what is about to happen? Like, am I about to go like 355? And then I think as we got closer, like it got a little bit better, and I kind of like settled down. And I was like, oh, we'll just see what happens. Like, I think my stroke will figure itself out. And then like I dove in for pace the day of the 400, and I felt great. And I mean, I felt great. I didn't know if I was actually going fast. And then I think I was next to Lucas Henvo in prelims, and I knew kind of swim the same race. So if I stayed ahead of him or near him, I'd have a good chance to have a good last 50 and get on my head on the wall. Like I just wanted to get top 3. And like, even though I was succeeded like 14th or something, which everyone's like, oh, he's not going to make the final and stuff. Well, I mean, these guys from other countries did not swim at Olympic trials in front of 20,000 people. So they're not used to, I mean, I don't know if it was the pressure like that made people swim slow. Might have been other stuff, but you just got to go out there and everyone has the same chance to make the final. Everyone else is swimming in the same pool. Like, you just got to go out there and race, and I mean, you just got to get your hand on the wall. So
now the final. So you qualify for your Olympic final at your first Olympics, and it's quite a high pressure race. So you got some big guns in there, you know, aiming for a world record. You know, talk to me about what it was like, you know, before heats. You know, before finals, your rest period at the village, going on deck. What was the atmosphere like, and how did you feel in the race? Because your race wasn't that bad at all. And those knows your splits were only just off per 50. It's not like you had, you know, they're just off. So talk about it.
It wasn't a terrible swim. I think I was just like, well, first of all, after prelims, if you're swimming at finals, you go back to the hotel. There's a hotel, like it was like the Citizen M. It was right next to the pool. So because the bus rides are like 40 minutes sometimes, and that takes away a lot of time from like you recovering and stuff.
Not to mention the cardboard beds, right?
Yeah, not ideal. So, but yeah, I went to the hotel, and then like I had like 6 hours until I had to go back. I think I got, or maybe not. It was like maybe 4.5, 5. But I wanted to get in like a good nap, and for some reason I just like couldn't sleep at all, which was really annoying. I wanted to, you know, go to sleep immediately, wake up like an hour before, and just get ready. Yeah. But like, I guess I just couldn't fall asleep. And also, usually in between, like at every single meet, every session, I'll use my Normatec to get my legs flushed. And let's take a routine I have. Like, I don't know if it probably makes a difference, like a little bit, but I don't know if it's like that big of a difference. But I didn't bring mine to Paris because usually they have them for you, but there weren't any at the hotel. I'm not trying to make excuses or anything, but
no.
Yeah, but besides that, like everything that Team USA did for us was really nice.
Yeah.
And then as far as a swim, I think my legs, like definitely, you could tell like just by looking at me, like when I watch it, like I can tell I look a little bit tired. And I think having Elijah next to me, like him going out 149, I've never experienced that before. Like I've never had someone go out really fast next to me. So I don't want to say it threw me off, but like if you see that going, like someone going out super fast next to you, and you know you've never been under 3, he's been 341 before, like it's going to mess you up a little bit. So I think that was a good experience for me, just for the future.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, being in Olympic finals, super cool. So
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, kudos, man. 3:47.00. As I said, you just were just off a couple of your splits, and it just added up. And let's talk about that's your first Olympic final. Um, the prep for the Olympic Games was quite long for the US team. Could you walk us through that and how, when you make your next Olympics of Paris, how you might approach things differently? So, talk us from literally when trials are finished, you went to North Carolina, Croatia, Paris, you're on the road, not home. How did that affect you? And would you do things differently for LA, maybe, like in terms of packing, preparing, training, what have you?
Well, I think I'll definitely bring my Norma Tech next time. But I think after trials, like I was done after the prelim of 2 fly, and we took like 1 day off, and then me and Chris did like 2 double 8K. Like we did a double, and I did like 16,000 in 1 day just to like flush everything out. And then we was about like a week and a half, and then we went to Raleigh on like the 2nd of July. And then like Raleigh was a lot of training. Like we hadn't started taper yet. I did some good sets with like Kieran and Thomas. Me and Thomas did some threshold. Kieran and I did some threshold. I did some stuff with Paige as well. Yeah, it was really a tough camp. It was pretty much like the hardest training ever. It was the best training of my life. I've never trained as fast as I was there. I mean, when you have super fast guys around you, you don't want to slow down. Like you can't let them beat you. You gotta hold your ground. And then like the flight to Croatia was super nice. It was a private jet and everything, which was amazing. Like it's for 9 hours or 8 hours, I think it was. You want to be comfortable and stuff. So that they did a great job with that, obviously. And then Croatia, it was about like, I think like 5 or 6 days of like really hard stuff again. And then I think we like rested. It was like hard resting for like a week before the Olympics. Like normally I'll do like, I think we did like 2.5 before trials, but for the Olympics, like you can't rest that much again. Like you got to be able to build back up. So Chris said I didn't need as much rest the second time. And I was like, all right, whatever you say, like I'm just going to listen to Chris, and whatever he tells me to do, I'm going to do it. And then we got like a week before the Olympics and stuff, but like Croatia was super nice as well. It was just a little bit hot. Like the pools were a bit hot, which was like the indoor pool, especially like it was like indoor and outdoor. It was like the middle of it was open. So like it kind of trapped everything inside, and it was like altitude times 20. Like it was super hard to train. Like going hundreds fast, barely going like a minute.
Breathing, yeah.
Yeah, it was tough. Like you're overheating. Like there was one time we were doing, it was the hundreds fast, and I finished the last one, and like Thomas is doing recovery, and he's just like looking over at me like, oh yeah, keep going. I'm like, dude, thanks for the support, but like I'm over here dying. Like like my face was like painted red. But yeah, I mean, it was a great camp, and then the Olympics was the Olympics. So,
do you thrive on being around swimming for so long, so intense, or did they do a good job at making sure you just disconnected from swimming during all that period? I mean, that's 5 weeks of this training in swimming.
I mean, I think it's kind of what we're used to. I think when we went to hang out with everyone, and like the resort we were at was super nice. They got us like dinners out with everyone, like private or like super nice restaurants and stuff. Nice. So
good.
They gave us plenty of time to disconnect, and like you wouldn't be doubling every day. Sometimes like they would take you out on a boat. I actually there was like a boat event, and I missed that because I got drug tested, which was super unfortunate. But they do a good job of letting you disconnect, and like you can go down by the beach and chill whenever you want. There's always food available, always massages available. Like it's just, they do a really good job. And we played a lot of college football. I don't know if you guys saw the game came out.
It just came out, yeah.
Yeah, we were me and Giuliano were playing a lot of that. He never beat me, but it was a good time.
Dude, what was it like to be kind of done and then just watch Alex rock out?
I mean, that was awesome. I think I wanted to be on the relay, but I realized I didn't do my job at trials, so got to let the other guys who earn their spot swim on the relay. But it was really nice watching and cheering on my sister. I knew she was going to kill it. I mean, winning a gold and silver medal while still in high school is crazy. And she's worked super hard for this. Like, she's always been one of the most fierce competitors and trainers and like teammates I've ever seen. Like, she will not let, if you're slacking off, she'll let you know. And she lets me know all the time. So like, if she feels like I'm slacking off, she will literally just like give me like, she'll like just give me the side eye and silent treatment in the house. I'm like, okay. Like, it's not that big of a deal, but
this carries outside of the pool. This is fantastic.
No, I gotta focus up. Like, but yeah,
is there anything that she can do in the pool like better than you? Is she a faster kicker? What if it's like 21's kick, or give me something? Is there anything she can beat you at? And if I asked her this question, is she going to give me a different answer than what you're going to say?
I think like if we did long course kick, she definitely has a better chance of beating me. Like, I think freestyle kick, I don't know, like she used to beat me like 100% of the time. And then I think I've gotten a lot better at kick, but short course kick, she has no chance because I push off the wall way harder. And sometimes I'll cheat and do underwaters with the board. But long course, she might have a chance. And then underwaters, she is super annoying. Like, she's so good at them. Like, I hate holding my breath, which is something I want to get better at. But she just like goes forever, and it's like the fastest dolphin kicks you've ever seen. It's just like insane. And then my dolphin kicks are not. they need some improvement, and like the consistency needs improvement. But she can go forever underwater, which is, I mean, it's an advantage. If you watch her 2 free long course, she's doing like 8 kicks. Yeah. Meanwhile, I think I do 2 or 3.
Hey, do you get nervous to watch her swim? And you had the whole family there too, which is crazy with all the connections that all you guys have had to, elite swimming. But do you get more nervous for your swims or your siblings' swims? I mean, I know Andrew's like, at a, what is it, Junior Pan Packs now?
Yeah. I think for Alex, I get nervous, but like, it's not as nervous because like I've literally, I don't want to jinx anything, but she always performs. Like, there's not been a single time where she'll always give it her best. And if she doesn't like do a best time or something, like, it's not because she like folded under pressure or anything. It's just because like something messed up on her wall or something. But she's always going to go out there and perform her best. Like, she's going to go out there and race everyone. And it's rare that someone out grits Alex or just like beats her. So like, she's one of the toughest people of all time. And then for my brother, I'm always nervous because like I actually have no idea what's going to happen with him. Like, he's I don't want to say he's inconsistent, but like he never talks about if he's feeling good or like what he does in practice. Like, sometimes he'll swim terrible in practice, and the next day he'll go like, I think we did like a 400 in practice, and like I went like 410, and I ran him down on like the last 50. Like, I barely beat him, and like I can't let Andrew beat me because he used to be so much slower than me, and now out of nowhere he's almost beating me in practice. Like, I just could not let that happen. But yeah, I get super nervous for both of them, but more so Andrew just because like I've been watching him. Like, it's just like it's a new thing for me watching Andrew at trials and watching Andrew at Junior Pan Packs. Like, he's come out of nowhere. So.
I want to get into a bit of the family dynamic. So both my brothers swam, and I have really good memories of after practice sitting at a dinner table, and my younger brother Sebastian would want to turn off the lights because his eyes were burning from chlorine so much, and he'll put his chair back and he'll just shovel in pasta and eat. So and that was our dinner table. It was all like complete exhaustion, eating and exhaustion from swimming. And my parents didn't swim, so they didn't quite understand what we were going through. We asked the Albieros this as well, Gabby and Nicholas, because, with Arthur and their mom all swam. What's it like at your dinner table? Because all 5 of you swam at the highest level. You sit down after a Friday evening, all 3 of you had practice. What do you guys chat about? What's it like? Talk to me. What's dinner table like at the Shackles on a Friday evening?
Jeez. Well, usually like if we eat dinner, it'll be like, I mean, we eat dinner, but like, it'll be like, we'll sit at the couch and like watch a show together usually. Or my brother will go play video games. Like, he's never downstairs. But I think usually like me and my sister will just like talk about practice or like what annoyed us at practice or something like that. And then my parents will like ask how practice was. And then if like we don't feel good or something, they'll just tell us like to ask Chris about it or like give us like a mental tip or something. But usually like once we're done with practice, we'll have like a quick chat about it. Like my parents will ask, and then we'll just like, I usually just like to completely forget about swimming. Just do something else, like watch sports, play video games with my friends, just completely forget about it. And then I think Alex kind of does the same. I think she's a little bit more like focused on swimming a little bit more like of the time than me. But I think for everyone, like, I think you cannot be fully locked in all the time. Like, it's just, I've done that before and it completely drains you. And then like before you know it, you just can't swim at all. So.
What are some swim parent do's and don'ts that you've like kind of navigated through with a family that's full of swimmers? I mean, my parents knew nothing about swimming, and so they would just like drive me to and from. But I knew if they asked me how the swim workout went, as you were talking about, it's like, maybe I don't want to talk about it, or maybe I know that if I explain it to them, they're not really going to understand what I was just explaining anyway, so it doesn't matter. But like, yeah, have they ever tried to like get in too deep in the weeds, and you're like, no, like, no, I'm not answering that question, or it's not your business?
I think like they usually know. I mean, back in like when we were younger, they used to be a lot more like connected to it and stuff, and like be like super invested. And then like I think when I was like when I played basketball, like my dad used to come to the games and like get super frustrated when I wasn't playing well. I was like, all right, you can't watch my basketball games anymore. You're stressing me out too much. So he was like banned from watching basketball. And then I think over time that kind of led into swimming and stuff where like just be a little bit more disconnected. Also, like if I ask for help, like absolutely help me. But like you don't need to be like helicoptering over me and like telling me what to do all the time. And I think that goes for like a lot of parents are always like, parents like ask me like, how can my child get better and stuff. I think, and I always tell them like, just make sure you're enjoying the sport. And like, especially if you're young, do not be like doing doubles when you're younger. Like it's just not worth it. You're going to burn out and you're not going to want to swim when you're older. Like I didn't start doing doubles until I was almost 16. So there's no need to focus on swimming when you're younger. Just enjoy other things and just don't take it too seriously. I take it seriously now, obviously, but not like I don't put too much pressure on myself. And I don't think my parents do either. They do a great job of just being supportive, but also like great parents at the same time. Just not being swim coaches. Like that's not what they are. They're my parents. They're here to support me and my sister and my brother. So a lot of the time, I think my brother will ask me for advice whenever he needs stuff. Like we've gotten a lot closer as I've gotten better. Like I think when we were younger, we used to fight all the time and stuff and like beat each other up or whatever. But I think when we gotten older, like he started to realize I kind of know what I'm doing. And he started to kind of ask me for advice and how he could get better. And like, if he's not feeling good, like maybe I can help him out and like see why he's going slow or why he doesn't want to go to practice or something. But he always wants to go. But like, just if he has a problem, he usually comes to me. So.
And which must feel great. I always so both my kids swim, but they don't swim like where I am now. And you're from people are gonna say, oh well, you guys are good swimmers because your parents are swimmers, and they think genetics right away, right? But to me, I always thought it's never really just that. It's like nature and nurture. It's the environment that your parents have created to give examples like you just gave. Step back when you need to, create a supportive family structure. Know when to make sure you keep enjoying it and stuff. I think it's important that you have that not just at home but also on pool deck with Chris. It sounds like you and Chris have a really strong, nurturing, in relationship. Talk to me about your transition now to a new coach in Bob. How have you started formulating that relationship, and where do you see that going with Texas in, I don't know, a couple of weeks? When do you go?
I leave on Wednesday, but for like training with Bob and creating that relationship, I think obviously there'll be a bunch of great athletes around me, so not all the attention will be on me, which is fine. I think just learn from everyone and do what Bob says to do. Like, yeah, he knows what he's doing. And just kind of follow his lead. If I'm doing what he tells me to do, I think everything will fall into place. There's no need to be like, well, I do this. Like, no, just listen to Bob and do the practices. And I think if we do the practices and train hard, there's nothing can really go wrong. And if something is going wrong, I'm sure Bob will be open to talk about it and see what we can do to fix it. So,
who's going to be on deck with you? Who's going to be in the lanes with you at Texas?
I mean, all the guys that like in my group or like just on. I'm not sure about my group yet.
Yeah, but like around you. So like, do you know if you're training with the pros and just the college? Is the college only? Like, who's going to be reviewing your train? Have you discussed this yet? Or are you going to wait and find out with Chris and Bob?
I'm pretty sure it's all like the pros and the college guys will be together. I'm sure I'll be training with Bob. I mean, that's why I'm going, but should be with like I'm not sure about Drew. I'm sure Drew will be back eventually after his break, and then Carson and Chase and all those guys who were there. Luke maybe. Might move around. I actually have no clue. Like, don't listen to anything I say. But
no, for sure.
Just being around a bunch of good guys that were at the Olympics, a bunch of guys who have had a bunch of NCAA sex.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Make sure you find out of the gutter, Aaron. All right, he's focused on one thing in Austin.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Oh man. Let's pivot. I wanted to ask you some of like the lighter things about being at the Olympics and like watching other sports. And again, you got to like hang out and have a vacay for a couple weeks, or at least a period of time. Be in the dining hall. You mentioned it would have been cool to like, see LeBron on the boat for opening ceremonies. But like, first of all, what was your like? Did you have a starstruck moment at the Olympics where you saw a sports star get a selfie?
I think, me and Thomas were like walking to the dining hall, and we like, I don't know why Pau Gasol was there, but like Pau Gasol was like throwing darts, and we were just like, okay, like we went over there and asked for a picture, and it was super cool. He was super nice. Yeah. And then we saw Nadal and Alcaraz, which was super cool as well. It was just like weird to see all these like basketball players and tennis like superstars just like around. Yeah. Like I think like my first international team trials or whatever, like I was super starstruck when I saw like Katie Ledecky or some super fast, like, Olympian or anything like that. And then I guess over time you kind of learn and realize that you're one of them. You're one of the superstars, I guess. You can't be idolizing people when you're racing and like you're a competitor, they're a competitor. You're both there to beat each other. And then I guess it was kind of like at first it was like, who can I see? Who can I find at the Olympics? And then after that, it's like, well, I mean, I'm here as well. Like I shouldn't be just like trying to find other people. I got to focus on my competition first, and then see if I can get to where they are by succeeding in the pool. So. Yeah,
totally. Speaking of like Team USA dynamics, was there anybody that from the senior team that you kind of connected with, or that surprised you, that you just didn't know before?
Well, Katie was super nice, really, to everyone. Like there was like a group of us who played cards a few times, but Katie was always super supportive and like nice I've literally never seen Katie be mean to anyone or like not supportive or anything like that. And Bobby was super cool. Kieran was super cool. He kind of like showed me what to do sometimes and like kind of led the way when I didn't know what was going on. Kieran's a super good competitor, but he's also a great role model. And I've always been friends with Drew. Drew does a great job in like leading the way for me and like showing me some stuff to do sometimes. But yeah, like I said, Bobby was also great. There was literally everyone was great. I did not have any problem with anyone on the team. I enjoyed my time with all of them.
What about Team USA rookie traditions? Do you have to do anything to like perform or skit or something like that?
There were some skits that you had to do if you're like a first timer at the Olympics.
Who had the funniest one?
Oh, geez. There were some press conferences that were super funny. I'm not gonna like share what was in them. I know you guys want it, but like I can't. Yeah, there were a lot. There were actually like all of them were good this time. Like there were like usually apparently there's some bad ones that just don't make sense at all. But all of them are good this time apparently. So like all the veterans were enjoying it. So as long as they enjoy it, like I think you're doing a good job. So.
All right. So a lot of times on these international trips, you're like trading Team USA gear to get some swag from other teams. Did you pick up any cool kit from other teams?
Yeah, we were on the. I think I was on the bus back from like it was like day 5 or something, and I happened to sit next to James Guy, and he happened to go to the same boarding school as my dad in England, which was super cool. And then we were just talking about like our swimming journey and like how we kind of both changed training and kind of struggled a little bit, and then went back to like something that we were doing before, and then we both did best times after struggling. And then we got off the bus and like took some pictures, and then eventually a few days later we ended up trading some gear. I got his opening ceremony jacket, which was nice of him, and then I gave him some Team USA stuff, but it was nice.
Oh, that's awesome. What sport did you enjoy watching at the Olympics? Is there anything that you think like you'd be good at if you weren't swimming?
I watched basketball. Obviously, I used to play a lot.
Regular, not the 3-on-3, right?
No, I wasn't watching 3-on-3. I have a lot of basketball trophies back here, but watching Curry hit like the 4 threes in the gold medal game was super cool. I didn't get to go to that, but I was watching that here. That was awesome. I was watching whatever was on. I was watching judo at like some like pub or something. Right next, it was like was it Billy or something like that? Right next to the pool.
Yeah.
Like the Teddy Reiner guy, like suplexed the guy, and like everyone like went crazy. That was really cool. Like for every sport in the Olympics, like it's super awesome to watch, except maybe breakdancing. Like I'm sorry, everyone has seen the Australian one. Like, I mean that I don't think it's coming back. Which I'm sorry to all the breakdancers, but like, come on. Like,
no, I hated it. Yeah, I thought the breakdancing thing. I didn't like that it was like a show each other up sort of thing, you know? Well, that's what I didn't like about it, because it was like I did some, movement or dance, and it was like a rap battle is what it seemed like. And I don't know, it's almost like I'm all about competition, but I thought it was kind of against the spirit of the games where they're like showing each other up besides the, like moves that I thought were boring. But yeah, but it's going away. That's a one and done. Yeah, so that's cool. So did you get to go to any other events in person, or you were just able to like watch them?
I just watched them. We really wanted to go to beach volleyball, but like it was always sold out apparently, and the tickets were super expensive. And then like taking the subway or whatever, like my parents they couldn't figure it out. Like they could, but like they knew how to go to the fonts, and like that was it. Like they would get lost all the time, and like didn't know how to get to the village. And so, like, my dad didn't want to deal with that. And I was like, all right, whatever. We won't go watch beach volleyball. Like, it's fine.
Dude, it's so easy to get around Paris. I thought they did a great job. And that was super easy. But my parents couldn't navigate it either. But they're old. Yeah. Also, beach volleyball was a total vibe. It was awesome. I did go to beach volleyball. And swimming can learn a thing from beach volleyball. They had like an MC on site. They had these chants that they played anytime there was a block that was from either team. They would play this audio, and everybody in the crowd would go, "Monster block, monster block." Dude, it was so cool. Yeah, and so like I got to watch the swimming, and then I saw prelims of track, and then I didn't get to go to track finals, but I did go to to beach volleyball, and then to the cycling, road cycling, and team triathlon mixed team relay. So just like a blend of like outdoor and but yeah, the beach volleyball crowd like inclusion that they do, and they also were like playing music specific to each nation that was playing, so that would resonate with their fans that were in the crowd. They just did such a good job of like having things that everybody could participate in, and like celebrate it all the way through. It felt like you were really entertained. It wasn't just an athletic competition. So I mean, swimming was fun to watch, but like that was a show. And besides that, it was in the backdrop with the Eiffel Tower right in the background. They had the sickest venue out of any venue.
Yeah.
Well, that's my question for both of you guys. Do you think that's the one thing that swimming can learn from the other sports you saw in Paris? Like when I watched track, I was still in love that in the qualifying rounds, the top 2 advance as opposed to the overall top 16 times, right? I like that. Or I like the fact that you get to choose your lanes. Or like in high jump, if you tie in high jump, you can agree to share the gold medal or you do a jump off and they keep lowering the bar. Like, did you guys experience things in the other sports that you said, oh, that would be great if swimming could implement?
The most exciting part about swimming for me was like when Leon would come out or something like that, the crowd would go crazy. And I think when the crowd goes crazy, it really gets you into it. Like that's what makes other sports so exciting, I think, is when like everyone, the whole crowd is into it. Everyone's like screaming and chanting, like even Americans and like every country was chanting Leon, which was kind of crazy. Just they all joined in with it. And like when it's super loud, it just brings some type of energy, which is, I mean, that just makes it more exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
Or like the men's 100 freestyle or something like that. Everyone gets up on their feet. Like everyone's anticipating that. Yeah. But sometimes like that when the crowd's not full, like it's kind of hard to create that again. But
you know what I liked? I don't know if they were doing this at track Olympics, but I've seen it at either trials or maybe even world championships for track. But like they give out the medals literally right away. Like the race finishes and the athletes like have their medals, like
really?
right there. Yeah, I've seen them before.
Track's the next day. Track in Olympics, they do it the next day because of time. That's the only thing.
Yeah, no, but I'm telling you, I've seen it before, where they've given them the medals right after the race, like, and then they have the medal ceremony too. But so it's like you can parade around with your flag, and I mean that's something that swimming has taken on, but not like immediately post race. So like swimming has their like parade around the pool with the medal ceremony, when the medal ceremony happens. But I think track, like that whole celebration happens immediately after the race.
Yeah.
So like everybody gets a flag, they're running around the track, they're celebrating their medal that they got, and they give them that moment right then. Whereas in swimming, we like, okay, that was the result, okay, go away, and then later we'll come back and we'll recognize you. Which like, if you have multiple events and you need to go cool down or whatever, like makes sense. But I think that's really cool about track is like, they celebrate the moment for a while right after it happened.
Yeah, so, I think that's when
you should do
it. Sorry, that's when like the emotions like most like that's the raw emotion, right? Like that's when the crowd is most into it. Like when you take a break and they come out for the medal ceremony, it's cool, but like it's not as like you're not gonna get the same emotion that you get when someone jumps out of the pool or like is like freaking out after they just won.
Except for if we were to do a victory lap in the pool. I can't imagine touching a wall and then we do swim a 50.
What do you mean?
It'd be funny. The track is a victory lap. They do a whole lap after their thing and they cheer the crowd. What if we did a victory swim lap?
Nobody wants to swim anymore, Luke.
Exactly. But they do the track.
I'll do a lap around the pool. I'm not swimming anymore.
Exactly.
Nobody's swimming anymore. Okay. Oh my god. All right. Was the pool shallow?
I don't think it was that big of a deal. I mean, I think the there's a ton of cameras on the bottom, which that was the only thing like the shallowness didn't bother me, but like maybe that the cameras were kind of closer to you. Like that took like 2 swims to get used to, like 2 warm-up sessions, and I was fine with it. But a lot of people were like saying it was too shallow and stuff, but like it's shallow for everyone else. So like, why does it matter? Like we're all going to deal with it. So,
okay. Some people were saying that they were disappointed with the Team USA men's performance. Was that something that like, as a team that anybody was talking about? Like, hey, it seems to be like a pretty positive environment, encouraging environment, I'm sure, but like, I don't know. Do you and your like teammates have any reflection on that? Like, okay, we feel like maybe from a medal standpoint they underperformed. It was a younger team. I don't know. I don't really have a take on that. I'm just curious, like if you guys like heard that at all and felt any pressure, did have any response for it.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a young team for sure. Like we had 3 teenagers on it, at least guys. But I don't think I mean, there might have been some poor swims. That's going to happen at every competition, though. Like, there's going to be ups and downs. I think we did a great job of responding and doing swimming good on relays. Like the 4x1 free was really cool. Bobby had a great 1500. Like, and that's not disappointing at all. We broke Sun Yang's world record finally. And then
so sick. I watched that one live. It was awesome.
That was awesome to watch.
Yeah.
And then I think we just did a great job of coming together as guys and supporting each other. Like there was no guy that was like going rogue or like not being a part of the team. Everyone was there to support each other. Everyone was always there for every session if you weren't swimming. I mean, I think we did a great job in being a team. And I know, like, maybe, I don't know, I think it was Michael that said he's disappointed or something. I don't want to call him out. Like, that's not what you do. But, like, I think.
Oh, and I'm not calling him out either. I know that he said it, but the other people were saying it too. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people are going to talk, and what you got to do as an athlete is just ignore it. Like, there's no point in arguing with whoever said that we did bad or whatever. I don't think we did bad at all. And in 4 years, I think we'll be back and even better, I'm sure. Like, all the young guys who were at their first Olympics are probably going to be at their second Olympics in 4 years, and it'll be at home. And we'll have 4 more years to develop and get up with the rest of the world. And I'm sure a lot of the guys who were veterans will still be swimming and be there to support, like all the younger guys too, as well. Like some of the guys who just missed the team will be in LA in 4 years. So.
Right on, man. All right. Well, we just got a couple of rapid fire questions and we'll let you go. What's the hardest race in swimming?
I think probably actually 2 free, maybe. And then 2 fly. And I've never done the 4 IM, so I'm going to say 4 free.
Hell yeah. Olympic gold or world record?
Gold.
DP in the pool?
Yeah.
What's the best swim that you saw in Paris?
Bobby's 1500.
What confidence does it take to wear the goggles outside of the cap?
It's just like something I've always done. There's no need to change it. And if they fall off, then I will change. But they haven't fallen off. So.
Did you ask Kyle Chalmers why he made the move from goggles outside the cap to inside the cap?
I actually didn't know he used to wear them outside. I'll have to. I don't know if he'll respond to me if I DM him. So I'll have to just wait until I see.
Hey man, Olympic champ with him outside the cap, and now he rocks him inside the cap.
And then he loses by a second.
Oh shit!
No, I need to start.
Well, I mean, some would say that was the best swim in Paris. I don't know. What was the best moment for you at the Olympic Games?
I think for me it was super cool, like touching the wall third, and like I was already celebrating that, like I made the final, and I went over to I didn't even know yet, like there was still another heat, but I went over to Kieran, who was on the other side of the pool, and like we just like I like screamed at him and said like let's go, and then we gave each other a hug, he was like I couldn't even tell like if he was upset about his swim. He was just super pumped for me.
Oh wow!
So that was awesome. But
yeah. What's one way that you grew over the course of this kind of long course season or even last year that you know is going to make you a better athlete in person going forward?
I think just knowing I'm more than a swimmer, like it's not a big deal if like before trials, if I didn't make the team, like before I used to think, oh, if I don't make the Olympics, like what am I going to do? And then I realized I was like, well, there's plenty of things to do outside of swimming. Like my dad works. If I can, it's like, it's not a big deal if you just get a regular job. That's pretty much what everyone does. Like, I think just when I was younger, I really wanted to be a professional athlete. And then I put a lot of pressure on myself. Like, how am I going to get there? And then I just need to realize there's plenty of options in life. And if one doesn't work out, that doesn't mean like it's the end of the world. It's just another door opening.
When you break Leon's 500 freestyle NCAA record, what's your celebration going to be?
Dude, that's a crazy question. That's a tough record, but I mean, there's no doubt I'm gonna try to go for it, but let's see. You know what? If I plan it, then it's not going to be a raw like a celebration. Like I can't tell you what I'm going to do.
Okay, the last one, and this one's a personal request on our behalf. Will you please give Bob shit if he doesn't give you guys social kick at practice?
Oh, okay, yeah. I will. I'll try. I don't know if he's going to let me.
Well, notoriously against social kick, but we're doing our best to lobby for it. It was at ASU and now at Texas, so we wish you many social kicks in your future after you're done stomping in the pool. So, hey man, dude, super fun to watch you. Super happy for you, and can't wait to just watch the career continue. Yeah, real pleasure. So keep on trucking, man.
Well, thanks for having me on here. It was super fun to talk to you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, likewise. Pleasure's ours. Welcome you back anytime. Real quick, where can people follow you?
On Instagram?
Wherever wherever you're putting the brand out, man. You're a commodity now. Let's go get it. Let's get some sponsors.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have a Twitter, but I'm on like Instagram, just Aaron_Shackell. I think I have like 9,000 followers. I thought I'd get more after the Olympics, but please follow me.
I'm right. I agree.
Oh, they'll come, buddy. Cool. Awesome. That sounds good. We'll look forward to talking to you the next time. That's it for this episode of Social Kick, and we'll see you guys next time.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you're enjoying Social Kick, tell your friends about it, and be sure to tell us what you liked by leaving a comment, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Social Kick, and you can find all of our content on our website at thesocialkick.com.